Welcome back to Speed Channel's coverage of the NASCAR of Winter. We're over here in St. Moritz, the birthplace of the sport. Our first competitor, Matthias Hofner, and he doesn't do as well in the two-man as the four-man, Ron.
Yeah, but he is very strong this season. Better in the foreman, you're absolutely right. His problem in the last years was he could only do one run. He was one run good, one run bad. But now he's consistent, and that's the key. His pushman, Mark Kühne, strong athletic guy from Halle, and Höfner starting for Riesa, the town where Harald Schuler, the Olympic champion from '94, used to start for.
5:34 start. We're going to see start times in the teens, almost even single digits. Everything will get faster here. The track's faster. The sun's out. Big crowds have come out here for the second run, which starts around noontime here in Switzerland. Hofner is the second leading points getter on the four-man circuit. He gives up a little time here at the start, but again, he almost uses the two-man as a practice for the four-man. 600's down at that clock to the Latvian sled that we did not see, who's down at the bottom. Now into this horseshoe corner round. Look at this corner, huh? All these corners, horseshoe, telephone, Devil's Dyke, No Name, Nameless, Gunter, Sack. It's just such great history and tradition here. What Wimbledon is to tennis, what Monte Carlo is to Formula One, St. Moritz is to bobsled. It's just a beautiful place for all of us to come to. We all love it every time we come here.
And they absolutely enjoy to go down here in the forest, the track in the middle of the forest, down from St. Moritz to Celerina, where the finish is. And they are in the finish now. Yeah, beating the Latvians by just almost 1/10 of a second.
Doesn't sound like much. 1/10 of a second's a lot of time. But on this long track, these aren't those little short 1,400 meter tracks that we see in Winterberg and Innsbruck and Salt Lake. This is a long track. Look at that time, 2:15 total. So a minute 7, minute 8 to come down this track. And here's the speed part of it. This is the horseshoe. This is where you have to have a slingshot effect on the bottom part of the track. It's the pivotal part of the course. We'll refer to it a lot. And down there is where you get all your speed.
And you can feel the G-force in that corner in horseshoe.
3.5 to 4 G's of force. Now a Czech guy. We have never seen this guy this year. He's been on the Europa Cup.
Yeah, but he's pushed by the famous Jakub Jan. He was in the World Cup for a couple of years, but pushing this young guy, Jakub Chabada. They train very often in Altenburg, which is very close to Czech Republic. But he feels very well on this track here in St. Moritz.
There's our leader at the bottom, Hopter. And these guys are pretty close. And it's about start time here. And boy, they have to get in out of those grooves there. Watch for the people getting in. Watch for people banging that little wall there. So he's got an 800s lead, 44 kilometers an hour. For you people that are dealing with miles per hour, just multiply that by 6. So you get about 27 miles an hour there. That start time is one thing. The speed, Ron, is even more important.
Yeah, and they all are a bit faster on the push, maybe because it's a bit warmer. So
yeah.
Better for your muscles.
A little warmer, and it's a little less friction at the top of the track. That sun comes up, puts a little moisture on top of this natural ice. And here we come into horseshoe, big crowd on hand. There's that 60-meter speed. You can see the Czechs have almost a half kilometer better speed than Hofner, but that leads down to 500s. Now, Hofner had 137 kilometers in the bottom. That's about 81 miles an hour, and that's going to be the key. Now he's lost it, Ron. It's up to +3. Probably going to have 135, 136 kilometers, which is not good for your time. Let's watch it. There's 137.9. Actually, that's pretty good speed, but he must have made a mistake in the exit of horseshoe or something, because Hofner's got to be our leader here.
13 hundredths of a second on the wrong side of the clock, so the Germans will remain there in the leader's box. Maybe a question of aerodynamics, which is so important on these fast tracks. Höfner's driving an FES sled from Berlin.
You know, and you always talk about driving these sleds. We're going to go to commercial break here. And how do these guys drive these sleds, Ron? It's pretty strange. It's about visualization. More bobsledding on Speed Channel after this. Welcome back to Speed Channel, the faces of bobsledding. And they're all racing on the edge in this sport. Top of the track. Russia won, the only Russian sled left in the competition, Ron.
Yeah, his teammate was disqualified. The runners were too warm, 0.2 degree too warm. How hard is this?
And you see behind you, there's a little runner hanging back there, and they check it. The temperature of your runners have to be plus or minus 3 to that runner. And these guys were over that limit by 0.2. So you can tell you how serious the officials were.
So just one Russian sled here in the top 15, Evgeny Popov, Alexei Andrinin. Normally we see a guy with a big fur hat there in the background. This is Valery Lyshenko, but he's with the girls in Lillehammer. But when he's back with the men, I think he will say some bad words.
Well, if you watch some of our women's bobsled from Lillehammer, the Russians also lost a sled to being overweight. So the Russians haven't had a good weekend here. Look at the speed here, though, at 60-meter speed. Now that's relative to getting in. Look at the grooves where the runners are coming down. Then they got to get in. They got to watch out here because those grooves end, and some people hit the wall there on the right. So that was a good entry of the sled by Popov. So he had a great start, and he had a better start speed. That is after that first corner.
Yeah, that's where they made so many mistakes in the last years, the Russians. They wanted to push so long, but we have to load the sled very early. That was horseshoe, 0.15 of a second.
That's a very good indicator for the Russians. The next clock, if he's minus 17 or minus 18, means he's accelerating, and he had a good exit of horseshoe, but he lost one more 100. He's going to need at least 137 kilometers down here, around 80 miles per hour, to have a chance to be the leader. 138 kilometers, that should be enough. The Germans are looking on, and it's going to be close. 800, so he did have enough speed there on the bottom. The Russians love it. They've got one sled that's going to be at least in the top 12.
He lost a couple of hundreds down there, but it was still enough to beat the Germans. And that was so close between 12th and 15th, only split by 200ths of a second.
3 sleds, 200ths. 100th of a second in the sport is about the length of your fingernail. So figure that out. You got all this technology, all this athleticism, and there's racing for the length of your fingernails. Hey, 3 years of Omega VIP rides, Anna Kournikova, but 2 years ago, Michael Schumacher, legendary Formula One guy. Listen to what he says.
I think it's a world of his own. It was a great experience. I was a bit shaken in the end.
Schumacher, how about Martina Hingis, tennis player last year? She loved it too.
Anytime, again, I'm up for it. It was great run.
And this year, Anna Kournikova, boy, she drew the paparazzi, huh, Ron?
No, the photographers liked the suit that she had to wear.
Yeah, and it was pretty impressive. But hey, Omega's been doing this for 3 years. They've extracted some unbelievable amounts of public relations. But hey, all of these people loved it.
I love these kind of things. So for me, it was a thrill. It was great.
Hey, the bobsledding's called the champagne of thrills. You take your first ride, you are just enamored with it, go and have a glass of champagne, or you go to the parking lot, you never do it again. Those 3 VIPs loved it.
So the next North American sled from Canada, Jason Krause and Nathan Cunningham. So he was declared to Canada 1 because Pierre Luders, the best Canadian, wanted to be Canada 2 to have a higher start number. But he was quite good with this start number 3.
Yeah, and he's started way back in the pack. Usually the ice on those refrigerated tracks, which is only a couple inches thick, is all chopped up. Here the ice is extremely thick, so very different philosophy of competing in St. Moritz as compared to those refrigerated tracks. And Krause, this is one of the first times we've seen Krause in the top 15 or 2-man all year.
Oh, he hit the ball a bit. He hit the ball 5.25, but a bit faster than in the first leg, but he hit the ball, John, and this is not good at all.
Now let's see who gets in here first now. Sometimes, look at the brakeman in the back. He's got all that technique going left and right, left and right. Look at the Russian's head in the back, going straight. Obviously a young brakeman running too far, doesn't get in with cat-like movements. They hit that wall on the right, and that is disaster on the top of this track where you need all the acceleration and speed you can. But Krause still had decent speed after that first corner, but it would have been a lot better if he didn't bang that wall. Horseshoe, 3.5, 4 Gs. Wow. Thrilled to take the ride down this track. Thrilled to be on any track, Ron. You've been on a lot of them, but
Absolutely.
so Jason Krause of Canada looking for his best result of the year, and boy, he's accelerating. He's doing well.
His push time in the first leg was only 21st best, but then he did a very good run. And can he beat the Russians here? 138.7 kilometers per hour.
Almost 81.5 miles per hour, and he does it. This is a great run. Canadians know it. Gert Groomer, that's great for Kraus.
Yeah, and his coach is so happy because there's not only Pierre Ludas who's leading the World Cup, there's also Jason Kraus now.
Currently in first place. A lot more bobsledding on Speed Channel. Stay with us. The top sleds to come, including American Tades.
No, no, no way! How long have I been doing this job? I'll tell you how long. 2,000 years. 2,000 years of loyal service. My contract clearly stipulates that I, and only I, am responsible for controlling access to heaven and giving out wings. And now, well, just look at this. So it all counts for nothing. I'm surplus to requirements. The employment prospects for a 2,000-year-old doorman are less than great. Oh.
Well, sure. We thought we had made a nice camera. But we're happy to hear the industry thinks so too. It's our 250. This sleek little number's got an amazing price for its feature-packed 5 megapixels. And right now it comes with a free Epson printer. So it's easy to take and make vivid photo quality prints. Or if you want to take videos and photos, you can get our fun pocket-sized S20 multicam for under $100 when you buy it with an accessory kit. Call Gateway today and go digital for less.
I'm in debt way over my head, but I don't know where to turn.
I'm really scared, but I'm even more confused. So I end up doing nothing.
Your fears are well-founded. There are millions just like us who don't know where to go or who to trust. That's why a professional debt management organization has published Debt Free for Good. And they're making it available free to people like us.
Don't work with anyone until you've read Debt Free for Good. So call 800-528-0600 now.
From practice to qualifying, trackside to trucks, NASCAR's biggest week is only on Speed Channel. Speed Week's on Speed. If there's action on the track, we're on the air. Speed Weeks begin February 6th with Bud Shootout Practice, only on Speed.
Welcome back to St. Moritz, Switzerland. Our next competitor from Innsbruck, Wolfgang Stampfler. Klaus Sielos, also from Innsbruck. They're looking for some results. They've been on a search for any kind of result this season to date.
Oh yeah, and the push is the biggest problem of the Austrians. 5:27. First leg, 5:30, only 21st push time. And they lost their coach, Gerd Reiner. He said he didn't get the support of the government and he wasn't happy with the athletic results of his team. And the team said they were not that happy with the coach. So Gerd Reiner is gone and Werner Delicart is back, the veteran from Austria, who's also a member of the international jury.
Well, Stampfler, decent speeds in that 60 meters. Watch the exit here of Horseshoe. Really good high line. Slingshot effect in the bottom. 3,300s. Now he's up by 4,300s. Looks like a pretty good run. When you can blow the field away like that, around a half a second lead to date, up to 4,900s.
He is a very good pilot. And he's got very good equipment, very good runners for this track, for this cold, cold ice.
Speed is the key on the left. Oh, the best speed, 83 miles per hour. This will be our leader by how much? Boy, this is a great run, 6,100s by Wolfgang Stampfler from Innsbruck. But when you have a long track like this with over a minute in time, 1,700 meters long, you can give up a little bit at the start and have a great drive like he just did.
I wouldn't wonder if you could beat some of the guys who were in front of him after the first leg, like Bruno Méjean, former world champion, or Reto Rück, Martin Annen from Switzerland.
Yeah, they're coming up next. This is down in Nameless. I mean, just unbelievable. This track built into the forest, as you say, Ron. All natural ice. This is like going in your backyard and framing up a course and sending it down. This is what John Madden says football should be, outdoors on grass. Me, bobsledding should be outdoors on not refrigerated tracks, but natural ice surfaces like this.
Bruno Méjean, Emmanuel Eustache, the start. And the problem for the French. He's much better in the foreman, but he's got a brand new sled from Dresden. Famous Dresden sled factory. They had a project with the University of Hanover, and they developed this sled in the last 3 years, and now it's very, very good.
Well, he's 5:30 start. I mean, it's almost like running with an anchor. Hastash in the back, 6'4", 245 pounds, fantastic athlete, athletics background, but Bruno just doesn't have that ability to push the sled in the two-man. The four-man, much more competitive. He won, in fact, in four-man, he won a bronze medal here last year.
And there's a tiny little problem going on there in the team, because they're coached on the track by Yannis Kipos. He doesn't speak French. Bruno doesn't speak German, doesn't speak Latvian, doesn't speak English. So a tiny little problem. He isn't that happy than he was with Ivo Ferriani, who coached him to the World Championship title.
And the bronze medal also at the 98 Olympics in Nagano. He's losing time all the way down. Not a lot, plus 10, plus 14. But Majon will run out of clock here, run out of turf to have a good time.
And you cannot blame the sled because he's making mistakes.
138 kilometers.
You saw it, he got hits left and right of the track. So
no speed, so he lost a lot more. She lost 1,700 in the last 300 meters. Usually when a guy like this, like Stomfer did, the sled just accelerated away. Stomfer made it an unbelievable amount of time on the bottom. Majon, uncharacteristically, made some mistakes.
And this is his problem this season. He can do one very good run, which he did in the first leg, but the second run was not that good.
Look, he always has that high line to the lip and horseshoe, exits out. He gets away with it in four-man, didn't get away with it today here in the two-man.
So we already said how tight it was between places 12 to 15. And there are three sleds in exactly the same time. Majon, Reto Rueg, and Martin Annen.
And in seventh place, I would say this has got to be disappointing. One of those Hildebrand sleds. There's a lot of them in the mountain.
So Martin Annen, he was already pushed by Beat Hefti, the best Swiss push guy. Then Beat Hefti moved to Ralf Rueg. Then they had some trouble at the World Championships last year in Lake Placid. There was a fight with a teammate, so he was banned from the national team. He went to Billy Meyerhans, and now Hefti is back. Everybody wanted to have him, even Annen, of course, but he didn't get them. So he went to Ivo Rueg.
And Rueg is in second place right now. We'll see him coming up. Watch the angle here. Now watch the feet coming down. This is about power, athleticism. A lot of football players really excel in this sport because of that power and explosion at the start. But then you got to get in like an athlete. Brakeman's got to get down behind the driver with an aerodynamic presence and not move back there. Not be stiff, but you still have to feel yourself down. But that brakeman is just not a sandbag back there like they used to call the guys who rode behind the driver. A lot of Swiss flags out here. You're going to start hearing some cowbells. But boy, Annen had a 10/100ths lead. It's now +2. No more mistakes down here, Ron.
At first it was the advantage of the push, but now he is losing time. And he's losing speed, I'm pretty sure. We will see it down there in the bottom.
139.7 Stomfer had for speed, 83, 138.9. Almost a kilometer slower. Stomfer's got to be loving this in the box. Stomfer, look at this.
1700s.
The Swiss, this is a big disappointment. The Swiss have not won a World Cup medal at all this year. It's the worst performance I've ever seen them have in the season. They expected this Swiss star not to be. He can do 8th place is the best he can do today.
And normally they have a big advantage on this track because, as you said, this track is built each year new, and they have an advantage because they had their national championships on this track.
More bobsledding coming up.
Call now for your free copy of Car and Driver, the world's largest automotive magazine, with fact, opinion, and tests on the hottest new luxury cars, sports cars, exotics, pickups, vans, and sport utilities. Call now and get your introductory copy risk-free. If you like it, you'll get 11 more issues, 12 in all for only $11.97, 72% off the newsstand cost. We'll bill you later. If you choose not to subscribe, just return the bill marked canceled. You'll owe nothing. Call now for your free introductory issue.
Victory by design, tonight, exclusively on Speed.
When is a diet pill worth $153 a bottle? When you're more than 20 pounds overweight and every diet plan has failed. Now there's Leptoprin.
Specifically developed for the significantly overweight, backed by 2 United States patents, 2 published clinical trials, and an ironclad 100% money-back guarantee. Leptoprin is simply the most powerful, clinically proven weight control compound available, period.
If you're one of those people who constantly worry about 5 or 6 vanity pounds, Leptoprin is not for you. Leptoprin is much too expensive and much too powerful for the casual dieter. But if you're one of the millions of Americans who are 20, 30, 50 pounds or more overweight, you need Leptoprin.
So when is a diet pill worth $153 a bottle? When it works, really works.
Call toll-free 1-800-546-1170 to order your risk-free supply of Leptoprin. That's 1-800-546-1170.
Welcome back to St. Moritz, beautiful St. Moritz, another Swiss star on top of the track, Rado Rug. There's 3 Rugs competing this weekend here. Ivo and Rado and Ralph Rug tomorrow in the 4-man. In fact, Ivo's in 2nd place right now, and the Swiss expect to at least win 1 medal here. Here's our current standings. You see Stampfler, Kilos down there, they're the leaders. You surprised to see them there?
I would say so, yeah. But maybe it was good that the old coach went home and they got a new one, the new old one, because sometimes it clears your head a bit and you drive better.
Well, the second straight Swiss team we've seen, both driving Hildebrand sleds. The Rugs, I competed against their fathers and uncles way back in the 70s. I saw one of their fathers last night, Tony Rug. And it's just great. This is such a great tradition here at bobsledding. Now look at the start now. Who gets in first? The Swiss have a great technique of getting in here before that first corner. Look at that. Look how much quicker the Swiss are in than the Austrians. That's so they don't make that damaging exit around that first corner. 10/100ths lead there. Exit of Horseshoe here is going to be crucial. Same speed. In fact, Rug's got the best speed with Annan at the 60-meter mark. Oh, but it's gone from -10, Ron. He's down to -5. That's not a good sign.
That's what we saw before with Martin Annan. He already lost it at the exit of Horseshoe, and he lost it here.
Oh, look at this. Rug is blown away. -5 to +6. 139.7. Stampfler had at the bottom. He's got decent speed, 139.8. But I don't know if it's going to be enough.
That will be close down there. Stampfler.
7. He came back a little bit on the bottom, but it wasn't enough.
I thought he could make it, but no, Stampfler will remain there in the leader's box. And who's next? A Czech team.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to figure out. He had great speed on the bottom. Again, a little minute, too much steering someplace, but big disappointment for the Swiss. They can't place, they're going to place maybe 1 sled in the top 6.
Yeah,
Look
that's
at
what
this.
he said, yeah. He was steering.
Exit's tough to tell there. Now on the telephone, little pressure looks there, but no pressure here in these 2. Yeah, it looks, what did I do wrong? Some of the scenery here in St. Moritz, like everything else, very nice.
So, Ivo Danilovic, Roman Gomora, the best Czech team. We already saw Jabara, big surprise, in the top 15.
These guys did great in Altenburg. They had a great weekend the last World Cup we saw them in.
Yeah, and they did the same trick. What the Canadians did, what the Germans did. So they declared Ivo Danilovic to Czech Republic 2, and he had start number 28. So the track was much faster than the first leg.
Strategy. That's why I love this track. It just makes people think that the refrigerated tracks are so perfectly engineered. Everybody has the exact same lines. This thing here, this is what bobsledding was and still should be, but the sport is transcended to a modern super highways of those refrigerated tracks. 5:15 start, the best speed. He's got 1,500ths lead. Boy, it's going to be pretty hard for him to throw that time away. Look at that. Look at the difference. He's got a 0.5 kilometer speed. That doesn't sound like much, but that's like 0.3 miles per hour. And when you're dealing with fingernails, which are hundreds of seconds, that's a lot of time at your only place that you can accelerate at the top of the track.
The speed is so much more important than the time. So he takes the speed. We saw a hit on the wall a bit, or we could even hear it. So a tiny mistake up there.
Minus 21 at the last clock. Exit a horseshoe. We'll find out if that hit cost him. Yes! Back down to minus 13. So now we say he's got to stop the bleeding. At the next clock, maybe minus 11, minus 12. If he gets down there around 0-0-0, minus 9, that's not too bad. Now he's going to really need the big speed. He's going to need 139 kilometers down here to have a chance.
And he's not steering, he's not steering, he's not steering.
Oh,
so
he doesn't have the speed.
So Czech Republic or Austria, and there's a plus. So the Austrians, Wolfgang Stampfer, are at least sixth.
Yeah, unbelievable to see Stampfer with no start time. He's up in the top 6, his best finish of the year. And again, big surprise to even have this Czech sled in this top 7 here in St. Moritz. But this is where I can't tell where he made his mistake up here. Maybe that little tap right there. This is down the bottom part of the course before bridge. But look at the expression of Stampfer. So we still have the top 5 sleds coming up on Speed Channel. Here's the Czechs look disappointed. But coming up, United States, Todd Hayes goes for a medal. The big Texan, stay with us.
Hi, I'm Keith Hernandez.
And I'm Walt Clyde Frazier.
What a marvelous night for the action.
Let's go to the play-by-play.
Oh, there's Mr. Graybeard approaching Miss Hottie. Oh, no.
Rejected.
Clyde, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, no play for Mr. Gray. Get that man our Just for Men Brush-In Color Gel.
It's specially formulated to penetrate coarse facial hair and gets rid of gray in 5 easy minutes.
Gets rid of strikeouts, too. Just for Men Gel. The Rejuvenator.
Come on, lads! Call yourselves soccer players? You're a bunch of idiots! 5-0, it's only half-time!
Hey, easy, coach. You know what's amazing?
Yeah! Talent, commitment, skill,
No, that's not it. Our defense is great, but we have no winger. Professore, dottore, maestro, you must listen to me.
Speak English!
We need wingers!
Look here, before the second half, we'll all drink Red Bull energy drink.
Why?
Because it gives you wings!
Where'd he go?
I'm in debt way over my head, but I don't know where to turn.
I'm really scared, but I'm even more confused. So I end up doing nothing.
Your fears are well-founded. There are millions just like us who don't know where to go or who to trust. That's why a professional debt management organization has published Debt Free for Good. And they're making it available free to people like us.
Don't work with anyone until you've read Debt Free for Good. So call 800-528-0600 now.
I'm a control freak, and I wouldn't want to do anything like smoking where I may not be in control of myself. It's an addictive habit. If you want to be rebellious and you want to do something different from what all the other kids do, just find something you have a passion in, like sports, and push yourself as far as you can. Bobsledding is fast. It's exhilarating. You're going 85 miles an hour, pulling up to 4 or 5 G. I couldn't be an elite athlete if I smoked. Don't start smoking.
Welcome back to St. Moritz. Speed Channel's coverage of the NASCAR winner. Next up, Todd Hayes and Steve Messler. Messler from Buffalo, New York. We talked to Hayes about his first heat.
Well, I mean, it could be a lot worse, but you know, I'm not happy when we're sitting in 5th place. So hopefully we can get a little better this next heat.
There's the picture of the Bodine sled. The sled developed by NASCAR legend Jeff Bodine. 1992, he got sick of watching the Olympics and seeing the Americans driving foreign equipment. And now the Bodine sleds. Ron, what do you think of these sleds, being a European yourself?
Well, when I saw them for the very first time, now they were not that good, but you need time to develop such a sled. And now they have such a good aerodynamics. They look so different to the other sleds, and they're very fast.
Well, as fast as the sleds are aerodynamically, they need the accelerator, the pedal to the metal, and that's the start time in bobsledding. And they've got it. The best start, 5:12. Messler with a track and field background. He's from Buffalo. Look at the technique here. Let's see who runs the farthest. Now you have a very slow start time on the left, 5:30. Hayes is a 5:12 on the right. Who gets in first? Look at the technique. The head should be going not side to side, and you see Messler's in quicker than the Austrian team. Look at that, 6,900s up. Hayes, look at the speed. He's got 0.3 of a kilometer. That's about 0.2 of a mile per hour. Exit horseshoe going to be crucial. Is he accelerating? No. He's lost a little time back. That means he might have made a mistake up there, Ron.
But that's 0.6 of a second. So I think the Austrians are already packing their stuff down there in the leader's box.
Losing more time. That's not a good sign. He might beat the Austrians, but he needs a great run here in the Bodine sled to have a chance to win the medal. 139 kilometers is going to be crucial. Doesn't have it. Probably going to lose more time back. Ducks his head for aerodynamics in the finish. 3800s. He lost back 3100s from the top part of the track. I don't think that's a great heat. Or Stauffer had an unbelievable heat. Hayes is the leader. There's 4 sleds to go. I don't know if his medal chances are thrown away with that run.
5th after the first leg, and he wanted to attack. He wanted to go in attack mode, but he had to defeat the Austrians first.
You know, give him a little break. You're really hard to say if he did anything wrong. He looked like he had a clean run. He's looking at the times.
Gets all the split times, and he doesn't look happy at all. And now Andre Lange, Kevin Kuske. Best start time in the first leg, 5:07, push record on this track.
He looks so relaxed.
But there is some pressure because his coach, Matthias Trübner, said he can beat Langen, who's ahead of him. He can beat Rueck and even Lüders, because he was in the first start group with start number 4. So he didn't have the advantage. Oh, did you see the runners? Yeah. He was pushing so hard. And
the runners out of the back. See that? They ran too far there. The 5:08 start.
No, they wanted to do even better than the first leg. And look here first at the runners.
Look at the runners in the grooves. Kevin picked the sled up in the air. Look at the speed difference now. He had a better start time than Hayes, but he had a slower speed. That's relative to him nicking the wall right here. Look at that. See, the runners come out of the grooves there, and you saw him play with the runners. That isn't very good for a fast time on the bottom, Ron.
I think Andre pushed too long, so he wasn't early enough on the steering wheel, I was close to say.
Yeah, no steering wheels here. Ropes, handles. The steering mechanisms have been frozen in time in the sport for about 40 years. The Americans were the last ones to use steering wheels, and you need such a minute feel to drive down the track. Boy, Lange, for making that type of mistake, he's got a 20/100ths lead on Hayes, and he had this big mistake up top. 139.2. That's some very good speed. Not as good as the Austrians, but it's going to be good enough to put Andre Lange ahead of the United States' Todd Hayes. So Hayes and Metzler wave goodbye, and Lange enters the leader's box.
Did you see Rem Bethke, the German head coach?
Wasn't happy.
No reaction in his face. So that was a big mistake. I'm pretty sure he saw it. And what could have happened if he hadn't done it?
But look at Kuske here. Look at this. Look, he's got his leg up in the air. See,
cramp?
Injured. Lange's helping him out. This is not good. He's got a race in the 4-man tomorrow, and maybe just a cramp. That's a big stud right there. Kevin Kuske. That's a prototype brakeman in this day and age.
Dr. Hubmann, the German doctor, was already there. And now Germany 3. We said it before, Christoph Lange, best German in the World Cup ranking, just behind Pierre Lüders. He was declared to Germany 3 to get start number 18, which was an advantage. But now they have similar track conditions. Lange, Langen, Rueck, who's next, and Lüders. So
Lange.
the push is a problem.
Yeah, but he builds his own sled out here, head to toe. The guy is an addict for the sport, the oldest man in the competition. Used to dominate the sport because of his 50-meter start time and his ability to drive the sled. Now he gives up a little time at the start, and look at the way he gets in. See that little smoother on that first corner. 4th best start time, 5:16. He's got a 1,300ths lead, 45.3 on the speed. You can see he ranks pretty close to Lange, but he had no problems around that first corner like Andre Lange.
He won the German championships in Königssee, on the track of the World Championships, in the 2-man and in the 4-man. So he completely forgot the crash he had in the last World Cup event in Altenburg.
Look at that, wasn't he minus? Now he's +1. That's all relative to that start time, but again, he didn't have that problem up there by Lange. That's confusing. This is where he's a master, though. Now, look at this, -4. Now the next clock, you're probably going to see him -8 or 9. He owns the bottom part of this course. He won the World Championships here in 2001, 2002. He blew the field away. He won by over a second each competition. And this looks like a clean run for Andre Lange. The speed, look at this, 140 kilometers, 85 miles an hour. No one else has got that barrier. And look at that, 24 hundredths. Boy, did he fly in the bottom.
And when you see Matthias Trübner, the coach, who isn't the coach of Christoph Lange, that's always a bit funny because I can tell you they both don't like each other. But did you see the face of Andre Lange? Looked a bit frozen because he knew that he will beat him.
The speed was the key around the finish here, and no one has had the speed of 140 kilometers. That's why he's the leader. He let that sled fly on the bottom. Not happy though, look at that guy. Coming up, two more sleds. Pierre Lueders holding the North American hopes for a gold medal. Stay with us on Speed.
There's a state where there's fun around every corner, where all cars are turbocharged, and there's a direct link between the right foot and a smile. Maybe that's why people who test drive a Saab usually buy one. This is the state of independence. Welcome.
During the Saab Sign and Drive event, get a Saab 9.3 linear sport sedan with zero due at lease inception.
Tonight on Speed at 7, News Junkies get your racing updates on Speed News Sunday. At 7:30, the making of Victory by Design. Followed at 8 with a look at 3 incredible racing marks. Victory by Design. All this tonight only on Speed.
When I had a cold sore, I wouldn't leave my cube. But then my pharmacist recommended Herpes L. It helps heal cold sores fast. Moisturizers help prevent cracking. And it even has SPF 30. Herpes L. Every day.
People like you have discovered a natural way to lose weight and gain energy. Dexatrim Natural. They all know it helps fight hunger with green tea, and no ephedrine while it helps burn fat and boost energy. Dexatrim Natural, the natural choice.
Lose fat, increase energy, reshape your body in record time with Fitness Made Simple's new 45-minute fat-burning workout.
There are no tricky dance moves, no high-impact gyrations, just lightweight training done at a heart-pumping cardio pace to build lean muscle and burn pounds of fat.
Work out at home with fitness celebrity John Bastow doing exercises to sculpt your chest, back, shoulders, arms, legs, and abs. Call now or order online at fitnessmadesimple.com.
Fitness Made Simple, bringing real results to real people.
John Morgan and Ron Ringeth with you in St. Moritz, Switzerland for our final two sleds.
Ivo Rüegg and Bert Hefti. Ivo Rüegg, one of the famous Rüegg family, and Bert Hefti, who is back, who came from a team from the Europe Cup. Now he's in World Cup. He will go back to the Europe Cup next week, and he wants to compete in the World Junior Championship, so he's still a junior, but he's so fast.
Juniors are under the age of 25 years old. The Swiss have not won a medal in World Cup competition this year. It's the worst performance of this country with such great tradition in this sport that they need a medal here. They need a performance from Ivo Rüegg.
Oh, 5:09, 5:12 in the first leg. So they're 300ths of a second faster than in the first leg.
Let's watch who gets in the quickest. The Swiss have that technique of getting in and letting gravity take over. The drivers are in the same. Look at that, the Germans actually are in quicker. That Lange, the old fox, he knows that Swiss trick here to get in quickly, let Mother Nature take over. Now, Rüegg has to take the advantage of this being his home track and come down. You see Rüegg does not have that, you see the standings there. Langen, Hayes, his only chance here is to see this Swiss sled fall away and the next sled Lueders, but boy, not now. Minus 20 is a lot of time on the bottom part of this track.
But you saw him steering at the entrance of Horseshoe, so I think he lost already some time there.
Oh, there it is.
Even more. And there was the next mistake, a little slide you could see, and the next hit.
Remember, Langen had 140 kilometers. He's going to need close to that of a chip. Nowhere near the speed. Christoph Langen's got to love these numbers. The Swiss, can they hold on? Yes, Langen's the leader, but at least the Swiss have finally won a medal in the sport of bobsledding in the 2003-04 season, albeit I bet she's disappointed with that run.
Oh, I'm absolutely sure. It is at least the bronze medal, so they have a medal. but
he knows you smack the cowling like that. He didn't want a bronze.
could have been silver. At
He
least.
shakes his head. They know they had a good performance. But Ron, this is maybe one of those mistakes you talked about with the steering.
Yep. And he did several of them.
Look at this. No mistake there. So Ivo Rug gets bronze medal. That's good for Switzerland. There's Longen congratulating him.
Hey, Ivo Fagnani, did you see him? The man with the hat, who's now running the new track in Turin.
Used to coach Pierre Luders from the 2000 or from the 98 to the 2002 games.
And Giulio Zaro, the strong guy.
Strong is an understatement. That Canadian.
Oh! Oh, we saw this with Lange, and now the same mistake with Pierre Luders. Oh, will this cost the victory here?
Maybe they ran too far. Look at the speeds. Rug got the best speed. Watch this, the runner tips here. Comes out. Maybe they ran a little bit too far. Remember, we talked about Langen getting in quickly, the Swiss getting in quickly. Luders, of course, Giulio Zardo in the back, that brakeman from Montreal, and maybe he was a little too pumped up, but now let's see the way this Hildebrand sled, another Hildebrand sled on the Swiss track. And oh man, look at this lead. That bump meant nothing up there. He's got 0.6 of a lead, Ron.
He just lost 200ths of a second. So that looks very good. 3 more.
Doesn't matter, that's a lot of time. He could have 138 kilometers and still walk away with this. The World Cup leader from Calgary, Alberta, Pierre Luders. He's got big speed. This is our leader by a lot. Winner, half a second.
Gerd Grimmer, the coach, on the right side, and Hans Uli on the left side, the Swiss mechanic. They're so happy with Pierre Luders, who's a great character of bobsleigh.
Luders just keeps winning. No one's dominated the two-man World Cup scene this winter. Mistake at the start, he still won by half a second. That's an eternity of time in this sport.
And
there's our top 3. We'll come back with the interviews on speed. Stay with us.
Now we can roll all day if I can ride all night.
Sure, it's small. Piranha small. Meet the surprisingly big Chevy Aveo. A CD MP3 player available in a car you can actually afford. Sounds good, huh? Meet the surprisingly big Chevy Aveo. The new Chevrolet's an American revolution.
I'm in debt way over my head, but I don't know where to turn.
I'm really scared, but I'm even more confused. So I end up doing nothing.
Your fears are well-founded. There are millions just like us who don't know where to go or who to trust. That's why a professional debt management organization has published Debt Free for Good. And they're making it available free to people like us.
Don't work with anyone until you've read Debt Free for Good. So call 800-528-0600 now.
Smoking is not a normal, natural function. Putting a fire in your face and breathing the smoke in is something we would normally try to avoid. You gotta ask yourself why current smokers tell non-smokers not to start. There's a reason for it. They get hooked, they can't stop, they don't like it, they want to quit. They spend the rest of their lives trying to quit. Tobacco companies want to make smoking look cool, but it's not cool. What is cool is bringing the best out in yourself, rising to your potential and accomplishing something real.
NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series returns this February exclusively on Speed.
Speed Channel Viewer Mail.
Gordon writes, can we loyal viewers of Speed Channel purchase any Speed merchandise, such as hats, shirts, jackets, etc.? Very interested in this. Well, Gordon, Speed Swag is here. Available now at speedtv.com.
St. Moritz, Switzerland. Here's our World Cup standings.
Oh, Pierre Luders ahead of Christoph Lange. It's very difficult to beat Pierre Luders.
Langen's hanging in there. Todd Hayes, 4th place. Still lurking around that top 3 mark. No medals for the United States today. The other 2 sleds, Mike Kahn, Stevie Holcomb finished out of the top 15.
And Zubkov, the unlucky Russian who got disqualified
he
today.
got Zippo points today. Mike Kahn, though, still in 12th place, even with not a great finish here. But again, he's a rookie in the circuit. He's still had a great year no matter what happens. So here's the top 15. Stevie Holcomb probably in there too. No, Stevie Holcomb's fallen out of the top 15 now. So, but let's talk to Todd Hayes about his trips today.
You know, it's hard to say. I thought the trips were pretty decent. It's the speed wasn't there and the times weren't there. I don't know if it was just overdriving or not, but we just didn't seem to go today.
Congratulations. How do you feel about today's performance?
Oh, it was a great race. We've had a good week of training and we've had good starts. Julio did a great job again, and it's a long track, so it's very technical and a lot can go wrong, but we're happy to win, that's for sure.
So second year in a row you won this race. Is this a magical place for you?
Not really. I went almost 9 years without winning anything here, so we're not going to change too much right now. We'll keep it the same.
Okay, congratulations, guys, and have a good evening tonight, I guess.
I'd keep it the same if I was him. What do you think, Ron?
Absolutely. Isn't that good in the foreman? So maybe a different winner tomorrow. A Swiss, a German, or an American.
Hey, next time we'll see you on Speed Channel. We'll be the foreman from the birthplace of bobsledding in St. Moritz. For all my FIBT TV crew, thanks for watching. For Ron Ringerth, I'm John Morgan. See you the next time on Speed.
Sure these warriors will find, longing to be